And just like that, through the magic of television, it says, we are live. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Wednesday Live. Welcome to Homebuilt Workshop. I hope all of you are doing awesome today. As we get settled in here, I'm working on some new stuff, so you're gonna have to kind of bear with me just a little bit. We are, let's see. It's like we're streaming, we're live. It's like everything's working. You guys got to let me know what we got going on. I got a new laptop and I got everything connected. So we're back to Paul's already confirmed it. Says, "Uh-oh, the audio and video is off." I was afraid of that. Couple issues here. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it. Remember I said I got the new laptop. This is audio is way off. Oh. We're getting to it. Oh, I adjusted the wrong thing. We'll try that. That's the setting. The same amount of time that it was on the old laptop, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a match. So you guys let me know. Is that better? Better, worse, or no different? Oh, I got to set this down a little bit too. So I haven't got all of the bugs worked out of this setup. Robert's here. Robert says, "Hey folks, hope everyone's doing well." Worse. Oh boy. Try that. Sam's here. Hey dude, what's up? The overdub video effect. Sam says Jeff has a new laptop and his coffee. I do. I have the coffee and the new laptop. I did set all of this up the other day. Well, with one exception, just to make sure I had everything set up, and I made sure to transfer the audio sync. But I overlooked one setting. Paul says 2 seconds. Oh my goodness, really? That's a lot. Is that any better? You have to let me know. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check. Oh, did not expect this, to be honest with you. Almost 4 now. Okay, so I went the wrong way. That's weird. It won't even let me go that far. Why is that? Let's see what that does. Huh. Oh boy. Almost 4 seconds. Yeah, see, so what happened? What happened was I was going to use the lav mic that I've been using, but that's one setting that I forgot to even get enabled in the laptop. So when I plugged it in this morning, just before it was time to go live, it wasn't recognizing it. And I didn't have time to dig through all the settings. So right now we're using the audio on the webcam. Oh, I wonder if that's got, I wonder if there's a setting on there. Jimmer, what's going on? I'm trying to get this working. Hang on, I'm gonna try to figure this out. Why is it acting a fool? So maybe there's a setting on the camera. We're gonna figure this out. I didn't anticipate this being a big issue, but do we have any audio settings? We do. Use computer to adjust volume. No, I don't want that. There's no sync settings there. Okay. Bear with me, guys. I apologize. I'm sorry about this. I thought I had everything. I thought I had everything under control, but I didn't. And for some reason, I don't understand why it won't let me go negative. Oh, there we go. We're just going to keep going here. We're going to get it. We're going to get it. Sounds like the webcam is the video is way ahead. So we're I'm backing it up. Then we'll get, once we get this a little closer anyway, then we'll jump into the show for the day. Okay, is that any better? Are we going the right direction now? So, seems like we've done this before, huh? Donna's here. Donna says, good morning, coffee up. Sorry, Donna, for the audio issues. I got new stuff here and I'm trying to get it working. But yes, cheers. Coffee cheers. Paul says, just remember, friends don't let friends use Microsoft. Fair enough, Paul. Well, I think we'll probably have to back this up more if my calculations are correct. Yeah, I was all excited. I got the new laptop came in, and it's got way better specs than the old one. Of course, it's brand new. As the old one is like 10 or 11 years old. So like everything is way better. So it's got much better performance, but I just didn't get everything set. I thought I did. Paul says, see, if you had not hacked into that fiber, it'd be working. Well, they still haven't come down the road and done that fiber. I'm still waiting for them to come through. They haven't got to it yet. Paul says, still off by a second. Wow, we're off by a lot here. We'll try that. I keep delaying it by more. So are we getting closer anyway? Robert says, no problem. Switching systems can always be a bit of an issue. Yes, thank you, Robert, for your understanding. Yeah, didn't understand or didn't anticipate this kind of issue. Like I said, I copied all the settings over from the older one, trying to make sure that that everything was good. I'm like, oh, we've already figured this out. I'm just going to copy the settings over, but I didn't anticipate using the audio from the webcam. I was still thinking of using the lav, but yeah. I can't think of everything. Paul says Windows 11 has to set the priority on the laptop first. Lack of privacy must be initiated and everything before you can use the device for yourself. See, Paul, that's where this is another thing. This is new for me because this laptop is Windows 11, and to be quite honest, this is the first time I've ever used Windows 11. I'm always a late adopter of things. I've been that way. I was that way with Windows XP. I was that way with Windows 7, and now I've been on Windows 10 for a long time, and this is the first device that I can honestly say that I've ever used with Windows 11. So, yeah, just trying to understand how everything works. I haven't even gotten into half of that stuff yet. But are we closer on the audio now? Or do I need to go more? So you guys let me know. I want to jump into what I've been working on. I want to know what you guys are working on though. While I'm working on these audio issues, I want to hear from all of you what you guys are working on. Type that sucker in. Let me know what kind of projects are on your workbench. Jimmer, what's on your lift today? Paul says still around a second and a half off. What? Am I going the wrong way? I don't understand. I don't understand. Okay. I'm going to go fairly extreme. So you tell me now if that made it worse or closer. That made a pretty big change because I can't quite tell which way we're going. Let's see. Robert says, going to be going through this system switch myself later today. Not for myself, but for someone else. She got a new computer, wanted me to set it all up for her. Right on. Yeah, like, it's pretty cool. Like, so far I like this thing. Just trying to get it all figured out, get all the settings and everything switched over. Paul says, just remember, after the dust settles, look for ways to secure your privacy with Windows 11. Newest version puts ads everywhere and wants you to allow AI to harvest your stuff. Yes, that one of the problems I had with setting this up is I didn't want to be signed into Microsoft. So I had to jump through hoops to get this thing set up when I first turned it on without having to sign into Microsoft. I don't know why. I don't like that. So right now I've got it working. We're not signed in, but Paul says we're working on ways to secure our customers at the moment. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I don't know anything about the security or anything on here. I don't know anything about that. I know it comes with a bunch of junk on here that I don't want, like McAfee and like all that nonsense. That's gonna all be taking a hike. It's kind of crazy. Well, anyway, how's the audio? Better? Worse? Robert says, not sure if the changes you're making are making a difference. Really? I don't know what else to switch. It's literally using the microphone. Is what it, oh. Did I have something muted? What was it picking up? Oh, this is a little bit silly. Oh, that's the mute. Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on. I want to figure this out, though. Which setting is that using? I didn't come on here to do the live stream so we could troubleshoot all day. I wanted to hang out and chat with y'all. Huh. This is very strange. Donna says a little creepy. Donna, I'm sorry. Not trying to be creepy. Paul says same. Well, what the? Why is it not making any difference? I don't understand. Oh, let's see here. Donna says, just kidding. I know, it's fine. I understand. It's weird, though. It's kind of getting frustrating because I want this to work. So I can only imagine what it's like for you trying to watch. So again, I'm sorry. Sam says if you got a PayPal payment system set up, it just takes 30% anyhow, and every time you read the comments, it slaps me more and more ads, and it's getting worse. I don't understand why. Paul says, just be happy. Best Buy just lowered their price on MacBooks, so you can get one fairly cheap. And be online almost instantly. Yeah, see, that's probably one of the only things that I like about Apple. You don't have to mess with all that stuff. But a lot of the other stuff, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. I'm changing numbers wildly here, trying to understand which one I'm supposed to be changing. Jimmer says like a Japanese movie. Yeah. Whatever. That's not cool though. Why is it not adjusting? That's what I don't understand. That's what I don't understand. I just changed something here, so that probably made things a lot worse. Maybe that's why the other mic, now it shows mic input is working on here. I don't know what I've just done, so I'm relying on all of you. Yeah, Robert says, like watching an old English dubbed Japanese movie. Yeah, I can imagine. Harry Dude says, is there software for the webcam that's taking over from OBS? There is software for the webcam, but I can't find any audio settings in there. I don't know what the deal is for that. It says audio device. I don't find any adjustments for that. So I don't think that's what it is, but I don't really know, to be completely honest. Why is that not showing any? I don't understand. Did I make it worse or did I make it better? So I'm going to do a wild swing the other way and we'll see what that does. Huh. There's lots of settings in here. Jim says seems better. Paul says seems better. Yes. What did I change? Oh, there's settings on this that I have not seen before. Especially on the old laptop. All right. So all right. Paul says better. Sam says still out. Yeah, but it's better, right? So you're telling me there's a chance. Edgelight's here, says, oh, sweet, I made it. What's going on? Paul says, sent you a link. Right on. I will check that out. Yeah, I mean, normally I don't have issues. Not sync issues, but like doing sound stuff. It's just figuring out, enabling the outputs and all of that sort of thing. And yeah, so it sounds like we're a little bit better. Edgelight says, at least you aren't backwards like lots of channels. Yes, I'll take that. Right on. So we're a little better. Is that what I'm hearing? So like, is it still annoyingly bad? Do I need to adjust it a little bit more, or do we just roll with it? What's the consensus? It's a consensus for me is I'm having some coffee. I don't even know what microphone we're using at the moment. I think it's using the built-in one on the laptop, so I don't know what that sounds like. Paul says half second off. So I don't know which setting that is. There. I changed one way and one the other way, so I'm gonna end up breaking this thing. Not physically, but I'm gonna change too many settings and it's gonna explode. Okay. Sam says, don't forget to smash the like button. Totally free and most appreciated. Yes. hit that like button, the thumbs up, hit the share, even if we are experiencing some issues. Edgelight says, have you been doing these lately? That's the first one I've seen in a while. Edgelight, I've been doing these every week, every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. We've been struggling through some technical difficulties here and there, but yeah, I shoot for every single week at this time, same channel, and hopefully maybe you can tune in. Hopefully you can catch it. So yeah, I try to do them every single week. It's just it's one of the highlights of my week, honestly, and I truly and honestly saying that because I just enjoy hanging out with everyone. Robert says, if multiple mics are showing, you may need to disable one of them. Yes, I have. Well, I have the desktop audio is disabled, and it just has the mic, the regular mic auxiliary is highlighted. So, Edgelight says, algorithm must hate me. Yeah, just set a reminder. Set a reminder, and maybe you can catch some more of these. Jimmer says, the planes. So what have I been working on these last few days? Well, last week we talked about how I built the server. I had my little homemade DIY TrueNAS server out here. That's up and running in the house, still on temporary hard drives. I'm waiting for the larger hard drives to be delivered. Should be here later this week. So then I'll be able to go back in, reconfigure all that stuff. But so far I've just been playing with that, trying to understand a lot of things. But it is up and running. I've been getting shares, temporary shares set up just so I have things figured out. That video will be coming out this weekend, so be on the lookout for that. But now that once that's all done, I decided, remember a while back that my friend Jimmer here sent me some planes, some hand planes, old ones. And I decided to tackle those things and get them up and running. And that's what I've been working on. And it has been fun. Oh my goodness. And the things that I've been learning. Hair Dude says, I set a reminder for last week's live. Still waiting for that one. Oh, well, I don't know. I got nothing. Sam says, take an IT course. I don't have time for that. So the first plane that I got fixed up is this transition plane. This thing's super awesome. And one of the cool things about going through stuff like this was actually figuring out what the heck they are. Jim, when he picked them up, I believe at an estate sale or something, couldn't find any maker's marks on there. Nor could I before I started going through it. But I don't know if I can get this to focus on here up close, if it will or not. Maybe if it doesn't see me. Oh, there it is. Jim, this is one thing we didn't see. Number 32. It's a Union plane made in New Britain, Connecticut. It's a Union number 32. And I also found, I'm quite certain it's not going to show up on here. But it is up here on the iron. See, these all had a layer of rust on them. Not horribly rusty, but enough to where you could not see the fine stamping and just dirt and crud that was just kind of caked in here. You just couldn't see it. And once I got it cleaned up, it was super cool. Paul says, transition plane. Yeah, that was a great transition from the bench to the foreground. Yeah, it worked pretty good. So, yeah, I got this one done. This is the video that I'm working on right now, just going through this thing, taking it all apart, getting the sole flattened, sharpening the iron, doing all of that stuff. And yeah, it was super cool. And it will now take some nice shavings. It was super fun. This is my first transition plane. I have these other ones up here, like mostly those are the Stanleys. Most of them are early, I think one or two of them are from the teens, early 20s up to the 30s kind of era. But this one, that was another cool part. Once I figured out that it was a Union plane, I did a little bit of research. And it seems as though I don't remember when Union started. I'd have to go back and check my notes. But somewhere around the 20s, I think it was the early 20s, or maybe it was the later 20s anyway, Union basically merged, I guess, with Stanley, or Stanley bought them out, or something along those lines. So this one is at its newest from the 20s. But I found that Union Manufacturing, the company that made this plane, is still a company. They're still in business. They're doing a little bit different stuff, but it's still kind of hand tool stuff like that related. But on their website, they have old reprints of their catalogs from like 1904. And I saved a copy, so I always will have it. And in that catalog from 1904 is their whole list of transition planes. They have two different kinds. They have this, the one that looks just like this with this kind of tote on the back. And then they have another one that has a more of a handsaw style tote from 1904. Exactly the same one. And I think it had the price too. I don't remember what that was. It was like $1.75 or something like that. So they made these all in all sorts of numbers. 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. And it had to do with the length. So this should be 32-inch length. No, it's not. It's 26-inch length. I don't remember. Maybe it's not the length. But anyway, yeah, 1904. So that's what I'm going with because the catalog showed this. It's 1904 hand plane. Harry Dude says, I'm not sure what you mean by transition planes. Not big on plane styles. Okay, Harry Dude, that's an awesome question. So originally, hang on, I got to grab one here. Let me show you. We'll talk a little bit of history stuff here. I'm not a super expert, okay, on this stuff. Oh, did that just follow me around? I forgot that was even on. I'm not a super big historian on a lot of this stuff, but this is probably the oldest plane. This is what's known as a coffin plane. And this one is totally not usable. It's like in really bad shape. But because it's kind of shaped like a coffin, right? You see all that shape in there? And this is how most of the hand planes were, like in the 1800s, really. Probably even 1700s. I don't know. They're held in place by a wooden wedge. And this is what you used, right? This is how they all were. They were all made out of wood. Well, I guess somewhere around, the mid to late 1800s, they started, as industry was developing, right? They were coming up with more metal pieces, and they didn't have to make everything out of wood. This was the next iteration that moved up from, the all wood kind of coffin plane. Side note on this one, this is one my grandpa had. He used to have it up on a shelf. I'm getting distracted here, but this is cool. He had it up on a shelf in kind of the utility room in his house, and it just sat up there. And I asked him at one point, how old this was, and he just kind of looked. Well, he said, older than you and I put together, and that's all he said. But this one is in terrible shape, but it's cool because it was my grandpa's, and I don't know how old, or I don't know if he used it or if his dad used it or who used it, but that's why I kept it around. It's just gonna stay like this. But anyway, as the industrial things started to get more advanced in the industrial production and stuff, they started making this metal, some of these metal bits. So it still combines the wood, but it combines some of the metal, right? And if you look at this, it's very similar to how the Stanleys are, right? Or that what we think of as a modern hand plane, right? With the lever cap and, chip breaker and all that stuff. And even the adjustment lever or the adjustment wheel is basically the same style as the Stanleys. So these were, well, then of course, after this, they all went to like the all metal, right? The all metal version. So these were the transition between all wood and all metal because they're both, right? So they're made during that transition period. So that's why we call them a transition plane. Really super cool. And they operate exactly the same. At least this one does. There's really no difference. It's just wood on the bottom instead of steel. So Sam says those planes aren't legal. They don't have seatbelts or ashtrays. I mean, yeah. Let's see. Sam says after refreshing a few times, you're still out of sync with the sound and video. Well, let me see here. I'm just gonna keep making a change. So the mic auxiliary, that doesn't have the thing there. Why does that not even show? I don't understand. Just don't understand. I'm going to go back to 0 here and see if it makes any big difference. So anyway, here you do it. I hope that helps. Hope that helps clear things up just a little bit. Edgewise says, my brother has our great-grandfather's old tools from that time. He had them displayed like a museum in his shop. That's almost what I felt like with these. My grandpa had like kind of a pegboard thing, like I said, in the utility room of their home. And he just had a bunch of old stuff, old brace and bits. He had this thing up there. It was there for a really long time. And yeah, just kind of cool. And I figure, he saved it up there for a reason. And so I'm gonna keep it the same. Jimmer says, you said 1904 to 1920. Stanley bought it in 1920. Yeah, I just don't remember the exact date. It might have been 22 or something like that, but it was around 1920. So I'm guessing that that's the latest this could be, possibly. But I'm kind of going with that 1904 because I found this, like I said, in that catalog. So we're going to go 1904 roughly on this one. Yeah, and then Stanley bought it. They merged, however that worked out, and the Union stuff basically became Stanley, is my understanding. So basically, I guess it's sort of an early Stanley, even though it's not. It's a Union. Heritage says transition between full wooden and full metal construction. That makes sense. Thank you. Yeah, you got it. That's it. Full wooden to full metal. This is the in between because it has both. It's almost identical, really. If you kind of look at it. Actually, let's compare. I mean, you look at that. It's like if you took, that's almost the exact same size too. And that's a little bit bigger. This is a number 5 Stanley. I bet if you took a number 6, maybe a 7. Look how similar that is. I mean, like everything's pretty much the same. You just took this Stanley and sliced the bottom off, screwed on a block of wood. You'd basically have the transition plane. So Rick's here. Rick, what's going on? Rick, how you doing? Right on. Welcome. Paul says almost normal now. About a quarter second off. Robert says after last audio change, it's closer. Oh, okay. All right. So let's see. I think I'm understanding this here. So maybe that should be closer. I think I moved it about a quarter of a second. Right on. Sam says better than number 2. Well, I don't know, Sam. How about this? That is a number 2. Not what you were talking about, though. The only one I don't have, and I doubt I will ever have, is the number 1 Stanley, because the number 1s were like so rare, and they're like gazillions of dollars now. But I'd like this little number 2. Rick says, I'm okay, just having coffee. Right on, right on. Rick, I'm going to have some coffee with you. Cheers. Robert says, much better. Sam says, good. Paul says, almost there. Right on, right on. Rick says, I'd bring you some, but I'm way out in Northern California. Paul says, looks great now. Mark those settings. Okay, so let's see. Where are we? 250 milliseconds ahead. Ahead? Huh. All right. Hold on. Let me just make sure that this is going to be okay. And that didn't break something. So let me know if it stays. I just deleted settings from a different one that I don't think is affecting this. So if it changes it, let me know. Yes. Good. All right. So yeah. So this is what I've been working on. Getting this guy back up and running. I got to double check the blade. I wasn't paying attention, and I think I might have nicked it yesterday when I was setting things down. So I got to double check that. But yeah, this thing was super cool. So this is the video that I'm working on editing right now, putting this together, and that'll be coming out, not this week, it'll be coming out next week. But one thing I did after I got that plane working, when Jim sent me those, by the way, thank you, Jim, again. When Jim sent me those planes, he sent me a different one too. And I decided to go ahead and get that one running as well. Not in the video, but this one is an all wood plane. That's actually, it's a coffin plane. Much like this old one that was my grandpa's. Very similar. Just a little bit different style. This one I don't think will ever take a shaving again. It's just too busted up and rotted. But this one is cool. A little different. This has got a different style tote on the back, which is not something I'm familiar with until I started working on this one, or until I got this one. But this one I went through as well. This one I didn't have to do near as much work because there's really nothing to do. Take it apart, cleaned it up, flattened the bottom, sharpened the iron, and it now will take a nice shaving too. This one got super interesting too because, again, everything had a coat of rust on it, and you couldn't see any maker's marks. It basically, well, it's been oiled now, but it basically all looked like that. There, I got to cover my face so that it'll focus. Basically all looked like that. But after cleaning it up, I doubt you're going to be able to read this on here, but I'm going to try. Probably not. This one says Auburn Tool Company. So this one was made in Auburn, New York, which is one thing. It's kind of cool. There's a large prison in Auburn, which actually is still in operation. But they used to use prison labor at one time. This is a long time ago. All right, they would use prison labor. Excuse me, prison labor to do their stamping and stuff like that. And this was Auburn Tool Works was in or Tool Company. I think it said Auburn Tool Company. I can't remember. I think it's Tool Company. But anyway, this was like 1860 something up until 1893, I believe it is, 92, 93, when they got bought out by the Ohio Tool Company. And what I could find was at that time, all of the Auburn products got switched over to Ohio Tool Company branding. So the fact that this says Auburn Tool Company, Tool Works, Tool Company, whatever, means that this is not newer than 1893. Not newer, but could possibly be like from the 1860s. I don't know if it's that old or not, but it is definitely no newer than 1893. That is super cool. I found no markings on the wooden body itself, only on the iron. But wow, 1893. It's 32 years old or something like that. It's super wild. Let's see. Paul says, I have a number 1 complete and parts for another one. Oh, man. Nice, Paul. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't think that's one that I will ever locate. I mean, I found some. They're just really expensive. Oh, I got to plug this in. How did I not plug this in? Battery's running low. We're going to die. I don't want that to happen. There. We're plugged in. Let's see. Yeah, Paul, that's awesome. Super cool. The old number 1, the elusive number 1. Yeah, you can find them, but they're really expensive. So I'm pretty sure that there's a chance that I'm not going to buy one unless I find some mystery garage sale find or something like that. Sam says, try a coffee called Rocket Fuel. It's like 4 cans of Red Bull. Oh man, no way. I'd probably have a stroke or something. Harry Dude says, I'm starting to think the software doesn't change things straight away, but gradually over time to avoid glitches. I could be wrong. Maybe so. Might be right, Harry Dude. That makes sense. Paul says, with my grandfather's. That's awesome. Very cool. Rick says, hello to chat. Hope all is well. Who's operating the camera? LOL. Rick, this is a new addition to the shop here. It's actually it's one of those PTZ, right? So it like scans around and just stays locked on as long as I have that setting turned on, which I kind of like because I can move around. I don't have to worry about it. Robert says, pretty much spot on with sound now. Yes. Jimmer says, Auburn is the oldest prison in New York. Elmira is the second. Yeah, it's super cool. And they still make stuff at Auburn. They still do kind of foundry type work. Elmira used to have foundry stuff as well. Just because, yeah, they used to do that. I don't know if they still do. Time surfing. Where have you been, my friend? Time surfing says, better late than never. Rick says, wow, that goes way back. They don't make tools like they used to. Yeah, they don't. They don't. 1893 is what I'm going with on this guy. Could be a little older, but I don't really know that for a fact. But it cleaned up nice. The bottom, the sole flattened really well. And if I hadn't just pulled the blade out of adjustment there, I would I'd take a shaving for you. But it definitely does. It'll definitely make a cut. A little trickier to adjust. One thing I can't figure out, maybe you guys know. You know how normally on a wooden plane like this, right? You tap that in and you would lock it in with here. But if you needed to back it off, you would give that a little tap with a hammer, right? And that would jar everything back a little bit. This one, if you need to back the blade out, you can't hit the back. I don't want to hit this with a hammer, break that off. That's not a lot of wood right in here. So I don't know how you would go about doing that. I guess you just kind of have to be careful and start with it not too deep. I don't know. Anybody have any experience with that sort of thing? Not really sure. This one, I actually had to file some of that away because it was really mushroomed over. Just really neat, these old tools. It's just cool to be able to, to bring something like that back to work, get it back into use. Even this one, 1904, 5, 6, whenever exactly it was made. I mean, just getting it back into use. It's just so cool. And the weight is quite surprising. It's pretty hefty. I'm guessing that's beech, but yeah, super cool. Let's see. Robert says, crisis averted with computer power. And Paul says, now that the audio is off again, maybe have to adjust for plugged in, as some laptops reduce performance when not plugged in to reduce impact on battery. Really? Is everybody seeing that? And it's off? Rick says, wow, that's cool. Paul says, a little better now. Jimmer says, Auburn makes the license plates now. Do they do all of them for the state in Auburn? Time Servant says, was out walking the dogs, getting some video of my swamp in bloom. Oh, I bet that's pretty cool. Do you have gators? you have alligators in your area? I don't know. Jimmer says, should have grabbed some more of those planes, but I think most were for molding. Yeah, the molding ones, I don't think I would probably use. They are cool, though. There's like so many different ones, and they're real skinny and narrow. I don't think I would use those. Sam says, make a wooden plane car that's fully road legal. The coffin car. Yeah, you just take and make that shape right there. Look how bad this one is. This one is it's just terrible. Part of me would love to sharpen this up and, make it do something, but I'm afraid with how badly rotted away this is. Where am I at here? That I would try to use it and it would just break in half, and I don't want that to happen. I did clean up the blade enough to sort of see kind of what it says, and I still can't fully find the maker on this. Something Creeves or Graves or something like that. Robert says, I think it's a good idea for prisons to offer different training options for inmates. In Oklahoma, the prison system, they have training options to give them a better chance to reintegrate in society. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all. Yeah, learn some stuff. Time Servant says, alligators, water moccasins, cottonmouth, copperhead, owls, hawks, lots of wildlife. Oh, I don't need those poisonous ones. I could probably deal with an alligator, but I don't want no water moccasins and cottonmouth and copperheads. Those, yeah. There's rattlesnakes here, not where I live, but not far south. They have rattlesnakes. The only thing we have that I've seen around here, right here where I live, are black widows and supposedly brown recluse spiders. I haven't seen one of those myself, but definitely, I would definitely get black widows. So anytime I'm moving wood and stuff that's outside, like some of the stuff when I have a log sawed up into slabs from the chainsaw mill, and that's sitting outside covered up for quite a while, I never go into that without gloves on because there will be black widows in there. I hate those things. Sam Packin says, I made it. Better late than not at all. Right on. Rick, what's going on? Jim says, could you put Granddad's plane in epoxy? Yes, Auburn makes all the plates. I have thought about that. And I think you could. I don't know. I don't know if that's something that I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I thought about it because I thought it would be neat just to bring it back to life, sort of. I don't know. I'm afraid if I don't do something, eventually it's going to crumble away. It's just going to happen. And that's about the only way I know of to sort of stop that from happening. But I almost don't want to do that because I feel like it could ruin some of the, I don't know, the old, I don't know. I got mixed feelings about that. You can see, I don't know if this was here, there's like a nail. Somebody put a nail through there, and there's one on the other side. Try to keep it together as it started to split. But I don't know. I think that maybe it may just be better off just to live out its days as kind of just a cool piece. I've had it tucked away in a drawer, actually, but I did dig it out just to compare some of the stamping on the blade with some of these other ones as I was trying to figure out who made them. Time Servant says, leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. We have so many different spiders, I can't name. Yeah, they will. They won't. They want to run off, but I just don't like them around. Sam says UK doesn't have wildlife that wants to kill anyone. Our hedgehog might look mean, but they're harmless. Yeah, hedgehogs don't look mean. There's no like poisonous spiders or snakes or anything in the UK? Paul says, I would think that it's too cold in your area for cold-blooded things. Keeps down the population of lawyers and politicians. Yeah, it works for some things. I don't know about the politicians, but anyway, that's for another live. Time Servant says, oh yeah, we have black bear, cougar, jaguarundi, bobcat. I've never heard of that. Jaguarundi? I don't know what that is. Sounds bad. Donna says, have a great weekend. Donna, you too. Thanks for stopping in. Stay loaded up on coffee. Right on. Hope you have a great week. Donna says, have a great weekend. I read it again. There you go. Edgelight says, here in Canada, I think the only thing that will kill you is a moose. Sam says, for a laugh, get an older beanie, sew a teapot spout and handle on it. Walk through the mall. That'd be funny. Time surfing. Small wildcat, smaller than a bobcat, bigger than a house cat. But different than a jaguar? Like an actual jaguar? Is it like a separate animal, or is it the same thing? I'm familiar with a jaguar. Is it like a mini jaguar? Bigger than a house cat, smaller than a bobcat. Huh. I'll be darned. Time Servant says, no relation. Interesting. Huh, I've not heard of that. Jim says his Jaguar undies spotted underwear. Oh, boy. Good one, though. I like it. That's funny. That's funny. Yep. So anyway, so hand planes, steering the subject back on track here. After we took a bit of a turn. So I'm working on editing the video for getting this old number 32 Union hand plane back together and back in operation. Video is pretty well done. I'm doing the final edit right now, and then it'll render it and get it uploaded. And then it'll be off to start on the next video. Time Serpent says they are spotted and mistaken for large house cats. Sam says, so depressing when Americans mispronounce UK car brands. Are there? I don't know what there are. What brands do you have? And then I can try to not mispronounce it. I don't know why it's so cool to like have these shavings. This is one from that number 32. Like it's just super cool. I mean, that's a pretty nice shaving from a plane that's 120 years old. Oh, Jaguars from the UK? Really? I don't know how else you say it. I didn't know it was a UK brand. Oh, it's Jaguar. Really? There, dude says Jaguar. Interesting. Really? I never knew that. But it's the cat. The cat is called a jaguar. We don't call the wildcat a jaguar, do we? Maybe I just say it wrong. I've never known it as a jaguar. Huh. Well, Sam, I'm sorry. Jaguar. Huh. Learn something new every day. Jimmer says, I'm wearing Jaguar undies right now. TMI, man, TMI. Save that for home. Time surfing? Oh, no. We're getting out of control here. Harry Dude says, cat and car company, Jaguar. Huh, same in Australia. Well, there you go. I apologize. No disrespect meant. Intended. There you go. By me not knowing how to say stuff. Huh. The Jaguar. Interesting. I'll be darned. Huh. I really didn't know that that's a UK brand. Are they really made in the UK? Is that what you're telling me, Sam? Huh. Man. Learn stuff all the time. Heritage says, my dad had a few Jaguar cars over the years. I can't even say that. Jaguar. Huh. Jimmer says, Jaguars. here or in Florida. Cougars are mountain lion everywhere else. Yeah, we have mountain lions here. So, okay, so time surfing, do you say Jaguar Undie? Which sounds weird to me, but Jaguar Undie sounds like an Aussie? I don't know. Huh. Yeah, I didn't know that. I don't know much about Jaguars. The cat. I know the cat, but the cars I don't know much about. Anyway, anyway, so yeah, so that's where we're at, and we're about there. What else you guys have? What do you want to talk about? You know, I didn't even bring up the test, like the sample live stream, to make sure everything was working. Time Surfing says, now with my southern accent, I'm lucky if Americans understand me. Heritage says, Aussies say reg grundies instead of undies. A rhyming slang at work. Hey, I like it. I like it. Arbor says, have you seen computations they have? Oh, the competitions they have in Japan for using hand planes. They try cutting the longest, thinnest, most complete shavings. They have the competition once a year. Yes, Robert, that is super cool. If you guys haven't seen this, the one that I'm picturing, right? So they do this competition with hand planes. So you think about this one, but like, I don't know, this wide, like a foot wide or maybe more. Oh, now what did I do? I did something in the camera blinked at me. But anyway, they have these giant hand planes and they're running along like a whole entire log kind of thing. And they're taking this paper thin sliver that's like full width of the log. It's super cool. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Let's do that. I got to make sure this thing's back on so it follows me. Let's do that before we wrap this up. I wanna make a shaving here, and you guys can see. I probably got something messed up. Now, how do we get this to come down and focus on us here? So let me turn this off because apparently, so I'm gonna move this by hand. I don't know if you're supposed to do this. Nope, sorry, we're going the wrong way. All right, I'm gonna knock stuff over. Let's see where we're set here. I think we're set a little light. I don't know. Let's see. A little light. Hang on. We'll take another go at it. I'm kind of in the way here. I gotta get it smoothed out. Actually, let's. I know I'm in the way. I'm in the way. But is that cool? It's pretty thin. I mean, I don't think it'll work the same going this way because I'm going against the grain. But it works. It works. I know that wasn't the greatest demonstration. I probably need to be at a different angle, but it works. It is really neat taking shavings with a plane that's that old. But anyway, Paul says gotta go. Yeah, I do too. Gotta get this edit done. But yeah, Robert, good call on those plane competitions. It's pretty impressive. And if you're looking for something interesting to look up, check that out. It's super cool. Sam says, yeah, I think YouTube's messing up my comments. It appears that some aren't visible. I'm being bombarded by adverts. Yeah, the last one I see, Sam, is when you said Jaguar. Time Server says the camera tracking is pretty wild. It's pretty cool. I like it. I don't have to worry exactly about me staying in the right spot. Like I can just kind of get up and move around, and as long as the camera's watching me, it's really neat. Like I don't have the mic on, so I don't know if the volume changes and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Hey, while we're here, I guess I could be putting away these hand planes. So one thing I'm gonna have to figure out is exactly where am I going to put these? I gotta think about that a little bit. I don't quite have room right here because this guy, it's a little large. So I got to figure out kind of where that's going to live. I don't quite know yet, but we'll get to it. Same with this guy. This one could fit on a rack if I made a new rack, or maybe it sits up higher. But either way, I think I'm going to have to redo this thing, which probably means I'm going to have to move this again, but it's no big deal. This one I think I'm going to stick back in the drawer and just let it live there. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I should have it out. My grandpa had it sitting out. Maybe I should as well. Anyway, yeah, the tracking is pretty cool. The only thing I need is like a bigger screen so I can read the comments, because I can't quite read them on here, which would be kind of cool. Sam says there was another, between the Jaguar comment. Really? Yeah, I surely don't see it. Time Server says now the audio is off again. Reminds me of the old days. Oh, man. Robert says, Sam, you may need to check YouTube settings, see if you can get rid of some of those ads. Huh. Yeah, I'll take a look too. I know I didn't change any settings on the YouTube side because I didn't need to. All the settings that I had to adjust with the new computer were on the computer side. So anyway. Yeah. So that's where we're at, guys. Aside from some technical difficulties, I hope we've got things sort of dialed. As far as audio, hopefully everything's okay. I don't know. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties leading up to this. It's just part of me having to figure things out. I do need to get the audio. We're going to be probably back to this again next week because I got to figure out how to run an external mic. So yeah. Hairdude says, does the movement tracking delay the audio due to the processing time? That's a good question. Let me turn it off. And then you can let me know if anything changes. I don't know. That's a good question. It seemed like, though, last time, or with the old laptop, once we got it working, it just worked. And I had the lapel mic on there. Like I said, I didn't get that enabled. I didn't think that I was going to need to enable something special for that, but apparently I do. And then we'll just get that figured out. What did I do with that? There it is. I'll just do some more experimenting with it. Like I said, I haven't got it fully dialed. So, I don't know. I don't know. I'm learning kind of at the same time. I know it's very unprofessional, but I can only test so much at home. I can to where everything looks okay. And I don't really know until we hit that live button. Robert says, been getting a lot of rain here where I live in Oklahoma. Moved the other day. Oh, I mowed the other day. We're expecting rain the following day and really needed to mow. Yeah, we're starting to get there. Starting to. I'm nowhere near where I need to mow yet, except there's a couple spots. There's one certain kind of weed that comes up, and that they're starting to get tall, but the grass isn't. The grass isn't ready to mow yet. I want to. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to get out there. I'll do some mowing, but our season comes in so late. Anyway, guys, I think we're going to wrap this up. I want to say thank you for bearing with me while we're working through some technical difficulties, but we're going to get it. Maybe hopefully next week won't be near as bad, and then the week after that we'll have it much better. But we're going to get it figured out, and we're going to be pros at figuring all this stuff out. So, Robert says almost wrecked the north side of the yard because the ditch by the road was too wet. Almost got the mower stuck 4 times. Ooh, man, glad you didn't. Sam says, thanks for the fantastic stream today, Jeff. Sam, thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you to all of you for hanging out here and helping me get settings and things figured out. And if you haven't already on your way out, hit that thumbs up button and double check. just because. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I've heard rumors that of people getting unsubscribed from other channels. So I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if that really happens or not, but double check. Make sure that you are in fact subscribed. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. And be on the lookout this weekend for the DIY server build that I showed last week. That's going to be coming out this weekend. And then the following week, we'll be getting this number 32 Union back up and running. So thank you. Thank you so much for hanging out here at Home Built Workshop. Sam says, be safe, everyone. Robert says, got muddy tracks all over, a muddy track all over that side. Everyone stay safe and healthy. Right on, Robert. Might have to spray that mower off. Drissy Guitar says, cheers. What's up? So right on. You guys, thank you so much. Have an awesome week. I hope you get some time to get outside, build some stuff, work in the yard, whatever it is, make some cool things, play some music, all of the things, whatever it is that you enjoy doing. I hope you get to do it and have a great time doing that too. So Harry Dude says, later, folks. We'll catch you later, Harry Dude. You guys, again, thank you. I'm going to get out of here. Stay safe. Stay well. Thanks a lot for tuning in. And we'll see you all next time. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Later.